In 2017, the first edition of the Laver Cup was played, an international exhibition event plotting Team World versus Team Europe in honour of the greatest player of the 20th century in many people's eyes, including that of legend himself, Roger Federer. Laver was known for his speed and thunderous left arm, which earned him the nickname Rocket. He soared above the sport as both an amateur and a professional, collecting along the way 11 majors in singles, including 2 calendar Grand Slams and 200 titles overall. Federer's Team 8, Tennis Australia, and many sponsors such as Rolex, Credit Suisse, and Mercedes-Benz all contributed to create the Laver Cup, a 3-day event honouring the Australian legend. It is played on an indoor hardcourt with Team Europe and Team World facing off, the latter of which is composed of players from all other continents except Europe. It has been marketed as being tennis's answer to the Ryder Cup, taking place just a couple weeks after the US Open, late September each year. The location alternates each year, rotating between different host cities in Europe, then the world. Each team is led by a captain and vice-captain who are former tennis legends. Currently the opposing captains are McEnroe and Borg, who play their part in coaching as well as picking their teams. 6 players are selected, the first 3 are based on ranking and the others are the captains and events choice. Each player is guaranteed a participation fee along with an extra 250 grand each for the winning team. The format is as follows. The event is played over 3 days. On Friday and Saturday there is a day and night session, followed by a final single day session on Sunday. Each day 4 matches are played, 3 singles and a doubles. Both singles and doubles are best of 3 sets with add scoring. In the event of split sets, the third set is a 10-point match tiebreaker. Each player competes in at least 1 singles match during the first 2 days. No player can play singles more than twice during the 3 days. At least 4 of the 6 players must play doubles. No doubles combination is played more than once, unless for the decider on day 3 if points are 12 all. The winning team must reach 13 points. In the event of a tie after all 12 matches are played, a final overtime doubles match, a decider, is played as a regular set with add scoring and a tiebreak. All in all, it seems like a fun and exhilarating event, allowing high quality, entertaining tennis to take place, as well as unlikely partnerships. So what exactly is the issue I have with it? It's true, the event is fun to watch, there are some fantastic matches to watch, and it brings tennis to some more unlikely locations. However, there are 5 main concerns that I feel must be considered and treated to. The first, it starts as an exhibition and yet treated as a tour event. Second, ticket pricing. Third, calendar placement. Fourth, team fairness and competitiveness. And finally, the team format as a whole. In 2019, the Laver Cup became an officially sanctioned ATP Tour event. While still not offering any ranking points, this did mean that the tournament would receive the same backup and logistical support as other ATP Tour events. This involves having access to all ATP services, including marketing and social media, as well as umpires and physios. This all sounds perfectly fine. However, a byproduct of this agreement meant that the matches played within the event also counted towards the players' official head-to-heads. This decision seems fairly odd, when despite being a fun watch, the tournament is essentially a glorified exhibition, with matches played at such tournaments as the Hopman Cup not counting towards the total at all. Fair enough, this may seem like a minor issue. After all, the organisers have stated numerous times that the goals of the tournament are to celebrate legends like Rod Laver and to give fans a spectacular experience, watching in person and on screen. However, here comes the second issue, ticket pricing. Some have taken issue with the amount the tickets cost. For one person, a multi-session ticket costs $250 for all 5 sessions across the 3 days, without hospitality costs. Defending this decision for a moment before getting to the main criticisms, for reference, I personally paid just over $200 for one ticket to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon on centre court, whereby you are not necessarily guaranteed top-level players. for just $50 more, you are guaranteed the best players in the world battling it out in 4 matches a day for 3 days. Very much worth it, in my opinion. However, buying hospitality packages means spending up to 6 or 7 grand, starting at 3 to 4. These packages offer a range of benefits, such as the best seats in the stadium kept for you for all 3 days, VIP access to dining areas and bars, and also private suites overlooking the court. Again, not necessarily an issue. Most large events will offer exclusive experiences to those that can afford. No, the main issue stems from the team event format as a whole. To begin with, the tennis calendar is an extremely full one, fitting in 4 majors, 9 masters, and 40 plus other events, meaning there is little room for many more. On top of that, it resides in the calendar towards the end of the year, 2 weeks after the final major in fact. However, still takes up time on the calendar for what is, as said before, a glorified exhibition. It essentially means nothing, especially when there are 2 other men's team events, the ATP Cup and Davis Cup. Following this, the teams are just not fair. Yes, 3 out of 4 of the events played so far have been pretty close, but Team World now have come up short all 4 times. Europe is now easily the dominant force in tennis, with all members of the top 10 being viable for team selection. However, one simple change could easily balance out the teams, and that's involving the women too. Comparatively, the WTA have 7 members in the top 10 currently that would be eligible for Team Europe. Not a drastic difference, but those for Team World would be the likes of Ash Barty, Naomi Osaka, Sofia Kenin, Coco Gauff, Bianca Andreescu, Emma Raducanu, and Serena Williams, to name but a few. This would broaden the reach of the event, keep it competitive and interesting, and who doesn't want to see Serena or Bianca attempt to coach Nick Kyrgios? If not possible, or as well as these changes, the event could change from Europe versus World to Red Team versus Blue Team, or Team Borg versus Team McEnroe, and have the captains pick one at a time rather than being limited by nationality. By including the women, you have an opportunity to celebrate more legends of the game, by perhaps having 1 male and 1 female captain working together. How about a Team Navratilova or a Team Billie Jean King? Those are the main issues I would resolve. Expand the event to include the WTA, expand the selection of possible players for the teams, and expand the captains of who we can celebrate, as well as Rod Laver. Some may criticise that perhaps winning as Red Team or Team Federer isn't as special as playing for Europe, and I would argue this is already an exhibition. It needs to embrace this aspect. Players have the opportunity to play for their country in Davis Cup and ATP Cup. Speaking of, in an ideal world, I would combine the Davis Cup and ATP Cup. Each have their own unique qualities that make team competitions so much fun. This should be held at the end of the year along with the Billie Jean King Cup, or King's Cup as I call it. So, to recap, at the start of the season should then be Laver Cup, setting up the Australian Open by honouring the Aussie tennis legend Rod Laver. Instead of Team Europe versus Team World, you have Red Team and Blue Team, or Team Borg and Team McEnroe. Instead of it being a men's event, it's a mixed event. The idea here is that it's a celebration of not only Rod Laver, but tennis itself. It's setting up the season with an explosion. You can keep a similar format, 1 point first day, 2 points second, etc. However, you also have 3 women's singles, a women's doubles, and a mixed doubles each day. The teams are decided by the team captains, who are 1 male and 1 female tennis legend. For example, Red Team may be captained by John McEnroe and Martina Navratilova, whilst Blue Team may be Borg and Evert. They each take turns selecting a female and male player until they have filled out their quota of 12 players with 4 substitutes each. With doubles having a much larger role, they could also invest and promote doubles players. Rod Laver wasn't just a legend on the singles court after all. The goal here is turning what essentially Hopman Cup was, but making it bigger, better, and more explosive. The draw here is being a part of promoting the sport, getting in your practice with the top players before a major, and having fun. And at the start of the season, this kind of thing I think is very much needed for the players and the spectators. All of this is very unlikely to happen, but I plead with the organisers, at least make it a mixed event. Otherwise the teams are so unfair, and who doesn't want to see Andreescu coaching Nick Kyrgios, or Emma Raducanu playing with Roger Federer?